pass to Johnson. Johnson still going. Dummies again. Johnson. Into the one to Brown. Brown goes in to score.
Oh, he's serving it down the touchline. Oh, this is unbelievable. They're gonna win it. Oh, what scenes here, what scenes. LeBron James, a shot at history. LeBron stands alone. The NBA's all-time scoring record now belongs to LeBron James.
We're on. Surly Talk Sports, back in the saddle for another week off the back of a huge Warriors win. And the best thing about it too, she's a short week, Anzac Day tomorrow, which means Warriors back in action for that Anzac clash. Can't wait to sink the teeth into that one. Unfortunately, not making the trip down to Christchurch. The wife is, as I know a number of you listening are as well. So go well, safe travels, and enjoy the game. Hopefully the Warriors can get another dub, currently sitting in fourth, taking on the Knights. 2 points in this would be huge before we head across to Magic Round next weekend, and I will be making that trip. So if you're heading over to Brizzy, Caxton Street and everything great that almost the ultimate weekend in rugby league has to offer, then flick me a message. Would love to catch up with you for a couple tins or 20. That weekend is always unreal scenes, dominated too by Warriors fans, which is great to see. A pretty big podcast today. Got the great man Shaun Johnson stopping by to talk all things that Golden Point victory against the Broncos last week, the Warriors season, and a few players, how they're tracking so far. Talk to him a bit about some sevens that stood up over the weekend as well, plus the game this weekend, and just the state of the NRL in general. So that yarn will be up shortly. Before we get into that, though, do I have to say TAB bonus cash code this weekend. We're running it back, the old first, second, or third try scorer promo, and the code this week is SCORE. So type that into your TAB app or on the website. Again, the code is SCORE. Place a first, second, or third try scorer bet on any NRL game this weekend. If it loses, you'll get your money back in bonus cash up to $20. I'll give you the hot tip. The Knights, they're not scoring many points at the moment. The Warriors, though, we're scoring a few, as are plenty of other teams. So hopefully there's some lucrative odds for you to scoop up in this weekend's NRL action. But enough from me. Let's get straight into that yarn with SJ now. Enjoy. Right, he's here in the studio. It's been promised a couple times around the golf course. I think I even had a putt to win a matchup, and you said if I sunk it, you'd come in and do a pod. I missed the putt, but he's here anyway. How are you, lad?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Quite the spot you got here, Seals. Geez, you come a long way.
I have. I remember you were bleached here in Cronulla, and you were one of my first podcast guests too. So
yeah,
mate, grateful you're still here.
Yeah, you got to show the support for anyone in particular, let alone someone your mates with that are going to speak the good word about rugby league in New Zealand in particular. So, bro, I'm stoked to be here. Stoked to chew the fat. Let's get stuck in, eh?
Appreciate it, bro. From Miami to Mount Smart, you've had a heck of a week and a bit, bro. First of all, how was it going to Miami and covering the UFC? And then to come back here to pandemonium, you must be drained.
Oh, bro. Well, I actually come back from Miami feeling pretty good about things.
As you would.
And then I've walked into the boys that play on, and they've just quickly reminded me, this is the week, lad.
Yeah.
And I went, I wish I didn't jump on a flight to come home. Literally, my anxiety went through the roof over this dumb bet that I agreed to. I should never have taken. There were so many lessons learned in the world of content.
Yeah.
I don't care. I actually just do not care. I will never be seen in another team's jersey at Mount Smart.
Yeah.
Cheering them on or encouraging them. So that played out the way it did. Obviously, it was a pretty cool night out at Mount Smart over the weekend. Had a heap of photos, met a heap of people, and I think just enjoyed a game of footy from the stands. When you're playing, you can't really watch it as a fan because you're so invested into what goes on throughout the week to get to game day. But now at the moment, I was having beers in the stands, just how good is this? I can see why people love coming to Mount Smart.
Yeah, big time.
That's what I got to experience.
I was going to ask, what do you like as a watcher? Because you've played a lot of footy. Do you break things down? Do you live in the moment? Do you have a bit of footy fatigue? Oh, you just said then you love it though. Does it like fizz you up again?
Yeah, it fizzes me up. Like one of the most common questions I get asked is like even Kayla sitting next to me in the week, she's like, "Do you miss it?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't. Like I'm very content sitting here watching it. The only part I actually missed was when Luke Metcalf had a shot at the drop goal.
Yeah,
like those moments where like you're the guy people look at, you know, and I just know that feeling being in the moment. Like that's what I miss.
Yeah.
Everything else, nah. Like I'm so good watching, but watching from the stands was like I'm not watching being judgy or critical. I'm watching being appreciative because maybe like I heard people around me, bro. There was this one fella that just kept chanting, "Come on, Fords," and I was just like, "Bros, like,
yeah,
come on, Fords."
Yeah.
We were attacking the goal line, and they were going, "Come on, Fords," and I was like, "Holy shit."
educated footy fans.
Oh, bro, you know what I mean? So I'm like, just little chuckles here and there, but you can't. Like I just respect and appreciate what they're doing. I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not being judgmental, and I do appreciate good footy though, like effort areas that I've just seen in spades from the Warriors at the moment. Those stand out to me, you know, which is when you see those sorts of signs on a night like we had out there in the weekend. Yeah, like you're in with a shot regardless of how well you execute with the ball or how well, you know, like the effort's there, the intent's there, then you're half a chance, and that's how I'm watching the game at the moment.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about a few of those areas. The first one we'll touch on, though, is the Luke Metcalf, and more around the mindset, right? Like, he's 1 from 5, hitting them pretty well, but they're not going through the sticks.
Those are shit kicks, eh?
He's probably in his head, right? Like, there was a couple that every day of the week he bangs over.
100%.
And then to step up, probably the hardest kick of the night. Like, he could have so easily given the tee to Wets or someone else and just been like, it's not my night. But to step up 50 out and be like, I back myself here. As a goal kicker, that's not an easy thing to do. And the backlash, if he'd missed it, and then they get a 7-tackle set, and all of a sudden momentum's back on their side. Can you just touch a little on, I guess, the mindset and how much balls it takes to just step up and be like, I know I'm the man, I'm going to ice this moment?
Well, that mindset, and for anyone who's a goal kicker, like, you know too, like having that confidence and that mindset comes from banking the work. And one thing I know about Luke Metcalf is he kicks and he puts in that work, right? So he's confident. Like, you take outcomes out of it straight away. So if I'm stepping into that moment, I'm not thinking about what are the what ifs if I miss. You're just so dialed into process. Let's hit a good kick here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like he's a pure stroker of the ball, Luke Metcalf. You know, there's not many you see like that don't come off the boot clean. You know, like that timing's there with him. And you're right, bro. 1 in 5, where the one that he got was the toughest.
Yeah.
Into the breeze in the first half. Like that was the kick where I was like, geez, this is a tough one. And the rest of them you're sort of watching, if you understand Mount Smart and the way the wind was going, like, yeah, you just start it on this spot and you let the breeze do the rest type thing. But hey, as kickers, you go through ebbs and flows, but you never lose sight of the work you've done. And Lukey showed us that, like, that was a nudge, bro. Yeah. That was an out-and-out nudge.
Because
and sorry, Sully, like, you've got to remember, 80th minute, wet night, boots are heavy, legs are fatigued.
Big time.
It all plays a role. It all plays a role. So it makes that moment for Luke even more special.
I was going to say, like, rugby kickers practice that because we're used to long-range penalty attempts to win games. Yep. Do league players actually practice that much? Because it's not often something you see, right? So that makes it even more special.
No, I couldn't tell you I never practiced a 50-metre goal. But, like, in saying that, we practice a lot of, Chook, Daryl Halligan's sort of kicking process or routine is you always finish with 2 directly in front, 35, 40 metres out.
Gotcha.
And that kick in the weekend probably was that with the breeze that was behind him. So it's a 40-metre nudge directly in front. So that, in that aspect, the distance was something that he's felt before, but the visual, you know, of kicking a 50-metre field goal wasn't something that we see often in league and not even practice. Luke Metcalf, I haven't been around him, so he might have practiced that. But from when I was there, we never went back to the 50 to, hey, let's take a penalty goal just in case. Yeah. Definitely more of a rugby thing.
Golden point, bro. I wanted to touch on just the art of golden point because you've clutched it a couple times, but you see different methods to it, right? Some teams just go into their shell. They play not to lose. Some teams go after it, score tries first, and then settle for a field goal if they can't. What do you reckon is like the best approach, and how did you manage it? Were you always like a let's just see where we get to, or were you like get me to this point and I'll bang a field goal?
Yeah, there's an ideal setup, but Golden Point, there's a method to it. There's if things play out equally, there's a method to it. So I feel like receiving the kickoff in Golden Point is an advantage. So how it should play out, Reece Walsh should have kicked that ball off, doesn't go dead. Warriors play a good solid set, Broncos defend a good solid set, which it probably should be at that stage of the game. Warriors too far out to go for it first up, so you put a high one into the pocket, you back your kick chase, the effort areas, and you apply pressure. Right? Now, Broncos complete that set fine, but with the win behind the Warriors then, they might have had a chance to have a shot at it in that second set.
Yeah, gotcha.
If not that, probably the third set.
Yeah. So it's just getting through your tackles. Don't give away set restarts.
Yeah, it's just clean footy.
Yeah.
And if all things are equal, Warriors should have first crack at it through better field position because the win was behind them. So they had that advantage. I think it was Barney. They do the coin toss again.
Yeah.
So Barney's he's taken the advantage straight away by winning that toss. And yeah, bro, like as a right foot kicker, there were times that I kicked some where the play the ball ended up at right post. There was some I kicked that the play the ball's up at the left post, and I preferred off the left post straight into your hands, straight down into your motion. Where if you're catching a little bit square on, you've kind of got to create that gate yourself. But yeah, ideal setup is left post. We call it strip, so just outside left post, opens it up beautifully for you, and it's pretty much a straight kick. Now there's times you can't get that right because you're just finding your best play the ball.
Yeah.
And you make do with whatever. I thought Lukey had a pretty good look at it, that second one in particular. Yeah.
Were you nervous when Reynolds looked like he was going to have a lock?
Oh,
towards the
they
end there?
royally screwed that up, man. And it's just where they're at the moment.
Yeah.
Like any other day, as soon as they got that field position, I was like, it's over.
Yeah.
Like Reynolds ain't missing that. He's not. And then when you just see Katoni Staggs take a hit up, essentially, when they're in clear shot, like I was like, what is doing right now? Seriously, what are we watching? So that was the bit where it was like far out. That's a really big missed opportunity. Yeah, because you know someone like Reynolds ain't gonna. Yeah, he's gonna make you pay.
Yeah, I was ready for heartbreak.
Grateful, but
yeah, oh, absolutely, great option.
Grateful,
great option. Run that again every day of the week.
Yeah,
I wanted to touch on our middles because obviously no Fish, which is a massive loss, but everyone stepped up, including the starters and the bench. Aaron Clark, though, has he been the low-key buy of the year this year? And it's almost not even low-key anymore. I feel like he doesn't get the media raps like overseas and Aussie and that, but he's been our best player or right up there.
He was our best player by far in the weekend. But his selection of pass, dummy into run, like, it's elite.
Yeah.
It really is. He's so strong that when he carries and decides he's going to carry the footy, he's generating ruck speed, especially when he's got that movement around him. So you pair that with Barney, obviously. Barney's your leader. He's your alpha. So he's always going to be like, boys, I don't care about who's out. Look who we got in. Let's go out there, have a crack. You know what I mean? We live with the outcome. Let's just go out there and have a right crack. And that's what it looked like in the weekend. You know, like you got Jacko Ford. Bless his soul. He ain't the biggest, fastest, intimidating front row you're going to get.
Yeah.
But
he's a second rower that's turned into a front rower.
But he's a bloke that's going to show up every time for you.
Effort, man.
You know, like effort on effort on effort. And I just feel like, man, that's just where they're at the moment. They're happy to build their game on it.
Yeah.
And they get the tight ones like they did in the weekend.
Well, it reflects in the completion rate as well, right? Like, I think it was 84% to 69. Like, the Warriors are happy in the grind. And at round 7, that's probably where you want to be, right? Like, the attack isn't razzle-dazzle at the moment. The shapes and structures are there, though, that once everyone's back and it all clicks and combos are established, we will light it up. But these are the wins that you look back on come the end of the year and just be like, I'm so glad we banked that, because if we didn't, it could be a different picture.
100%, bro. And we always said, like, first 6 rounds, you just go, look, you want to complete high, put the ball in good spots. You know, like, while your legs are getting under you, I've said it plenty of times, you just don't make the game any harder than it has to be. And hearing Michael Maguire speak about facing the Warriors, it was definitely around the fact that, look, we knew the Warriors are going to complete high. That's what they do. So to have opposing teams understand the task at hand that, hey, boys, we've got to actually get through our sets at a high rate because we know these guys aren't going to beat themselves in that. Like, that's a pretty cool statement. That's a pretty cool message to hear, I reckon.
Yeah. 100%. Lecker. One of our try-scoring threats now. That's, 3 in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Kid's a freak. And that try he scored, Lukey just dropped him under. It looked like nothing was doing. Bit of footwork, and he made a Kiwi international second rower look pretty average.
Yep.
Just how special is this kid, bro? Him and Demi have been massive for us this year, but Leca's try on the weekend, just a little jump step, everyone stops. You can tell defences are worried when he gets the ball. As a 19-year-old, that's unheard of.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch. Leca, he's a quiet fella. Obviously, he's just a kid still. But there's a bit to him, and seeing him kick on and get regular time, in his limited touches throughout last year, every time he touched the ball, it was like, holy crap. Either one, they can't tackle him, two, he's generating a ruck speed. So to see him, to sort of see him just be able to kick on, just get through big stretches of footy and deliver a standard of footy that doesn't sort of drop off. Really impressive, really impressive. So, mate, he's going to be around a long time. And I know if I'm defending that, having to, I guess, defend a multifaceted or multifunctional back row that's not just going to try and run over you, that has the footwork, the fend, but then it's his ability to square you up, get the bumpers into you, that's a problem. Yeah. That's a big problem. So, yeah, excited to see how he sort of builds out and, continues to grow his game, eh?
Your boy Wado.
Yep.
Right up there in the top tacklers in the NRL this year. Gets through a mountain of work.
That's probably why I beat him in golf yesterday.
Fatigue still.
Oh,
did you get him?
Shoulders weren't rotating well yesterday, hey, Wado?
How about the younger brother? Did you get him?
I got him too, don't worry.
Oi!
Hey, don't worry.
That new putter, eh?
The new putter's just rolling, lad.
Oh, you are kidding. I expected to
Bro,
say
I
you
had
got
80
told
around
up.
Murray yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, hit 80.
What was the weather
I mean,
like
sorry,
yesterday?
sorry we got off track there a little bit.
No,
but yeah,
that's
I
got
know.
to be PB
That's
out
a
there.
PB out there, 100%.
Oh, well done, bro.
Yeah.
You got to acknowledge
So
that.
that's why I really wanted to come and just drop that on myself.
I was going to say, that rattles me. That rattles me proper. I need to get that new putter, bro. That's really changed your game. Yeah. But Wado, for me, he's been one of, if not the form hookers of the comp this year. His defensive work is huge, and then his attack play is unreal off the back of quick ruck speed. I call him the CEO of ruck manipulation. He just tears teams apart off the back of quick play the balls. Yeah. Origin, bro. It's a month away.
Nah, far. Don't take him for Origin. He'll be off me for saying that. No, we need him, lad.
Yeah, true.
We need him, bro. One thing I know about Wado, though, is that for all his knocks and all of the work, man, he's durable.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's crazy, eh? There's times you look at him and you go, there's no way he's going to get up after that, or there's no way he's going to be able to bend over and manipulate the ruck after that. Yeah. And he just does.
Well, even just seeing him walking around the car park at Mount Smart, he looks like he
looks like a weathered
wheelchair,
human, eh?
bro.
Yeah. So it's so impressive that he just continues to show up, get through his work at a high level. I call him Sinky. Well, we had this thing going when I was running around with him, sinkhole. We reckon when we go into the line, we call each other, yes, Sinky. If we could get 2, 3, 4 defenders turning into a ball and then throw it out the back, it was
beautiful.
And Chanel, Chanel was so good at it. Wado's so good at it. Watching Sinky go to work at the ruck, mate, as a half, it gives you so much more time. Yeah, bro. Very undervalued, I guess, talking point. People don't talk about the work of nines enough, I don't think, and the impact it has, on the timing for halves.
Well, especially for a fairly new combination, right? The pressure he takes off Chanel and Lukey to create stuff must be huge. Yeah,
well, you just know, also the good nines, and maybe why he is in talks for Origin selection. Who else is there, by the way?
Reece Robson, Connor Watson, but I'd see Connor as a 14. So for me, it's him and Reece Robson going.
Yeah, and I feel like there's space for both of them because they're different types of players. Yeah. Right? So your game can go either way. You need someone that's just going to be physical, run out of dummy half. Yeah, Robbo, go on then. Get in there, just be a dog. Yeah. Okay, we need a bit of finesse now. These boys are gas. All right, wait, go on and manipulate that for us, would you? Yeah. Why not? Why not? But, for Lukey and Chanel, Wado's pass selection, he ain't going to just give it to you if it's not on out the back there, especially when you're attacking the goal line. He knows that, okay, let's chew them up. Let's make these middles, make a heap of tackles, and then when the time's on, we pull the trigger.
Chanel, it just reminded me, that shot he put on Adam Reynolds, I reckon that was a massive momentum swinger because Renault had just kicked to 40-20. It's 2 minutes before halftime. If they score there, then they're up and about and they probably kick on and win. Instead,
Yeah.
Chanel flattens the bloke who just kicks it, takes
Yeah.
the wind out of his sails. We D that set, and then it's happy days, right?
Plays like that, bro, they're so contagious, right? Like, and I remember hearing the boys speak about, well, after they went over to Melbourne and dished out what they dished out over there, they came back and they just wanted to get back to their tackle, and tackling with intent, hitting in the right spots. Like, it was so clear that was their focus.
Yeah.
Because they were chopping blokes in the weekend. In the wet, Wado had one under the ball, forced an error. You got Chanel, your half, coming out the line, putting in a statement like that. Barney's always doing it. Jacko Ford's got good target area. Same with Aaron. But, like, when a half can come up with a play like that, I feel like it just goes bang. It's like a front rower. When he does something like that, it goes bang, right? So, yeah, if your half's out there doing it, what's everyone else's excuse, essentially? And, yeah, when Chanel did that, you just saw the boys go, woof. I saw the boys react when Wado dipped. Yeah. And force at everyone. I was like, holy. Even in the crowd, you felt it like, bro, we are on here. Yeah, so, yeah, really good to see.
This weekend, bro, you're heading down to Christchurch, a place where you laced up for the Kiwis recently too. So probably some memories for you down there as well.
Yep.
But Anzac Day, just the occasion itself, how much does that play into things? As a player, like ex-player yourself, is it just another game of footy, or do milestones and occasions like this hit a little differently than just your standard game?
No, they hit different. 100% they hit different. Milestones, obviously. You've got a bloke that you really care about.
Yeah.
Something significant's going on for them, so you want to do well by them. You know what I mean? Like, that's a given. Anzac Day and the likes, like, they're cool. Like, I heard Barney speaking about the design of the jersey and having an Aussie speak about the specific jersey that they wore over the weekend like that. It's like, bro, you can tell they care. It means something to them. It'd be no different with Anzac this week. We got Aussie boys, we got Kiwi boys, like, we got them all under one roof.
Yeah.
So it is a big occasion, and obviously the build-up, the hype around it in the previous years, we've had to go to Melbourne for it, and they do it so well, so it's of some sort of substance. It's just sucked that we had to play Melbourne.
Yeah.
That day.
Yeah.
we would usually leave there going far, right?
Yeah.
But a great opportunity for us this weekend against the Knights. A really good opportunity for us to, show exactly what it means and put in another good performance.
Are the Knights at a dangerous point at the moment, because they have struggled on attack over the last month or so? I think through their 6 games they've scored 60 points in total, but they have so many attacking threats like Ponga, Bradman Best, Dylan Lucas is back this week. Are they just waiting to go, or do you think that that's them at the moment, and the Warriors now have built so much trust defensively and in the style of play they're playing that you expect them to still get the job done?
Oh, yeah, I think we can. Every team's dangerous, bro. You'll never catch me sitting here saying, walk in the park game for the boys this week. I don't care where they sit on the table.
Yeah.
The NRL is hard.
Oh, we see it every week.
You know what I mean? It's so hard, and it doesn't matter where a team sits. But I just think our game and our style of it at the moment, we complete at a high rate again. How can their attack get going?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Attacks get going when you turn the ball over cheaply, and you give the opposing team more energy than they thought they were ever going to have. So it's they've got dangerous players. They do. They've got their backline in particular. It's class. It's elite, right? So you're going to have to be honest. But I just feel like you can almost smother what they do with the ball by where you give it to them. And I think that's going to be a key message for us heading down there this weekend.
I was going to ask around that, mainly around containing someone like KP, right? What are the pictures that you want to give him? Because a slow, staggered, broken kick chase line, see you later. Out the back of certain shapes, if he can get outside shoulders, then he's worrying too.
The times in recent times when we've played well against them, KP's actually spoken after the game about what he saw. And it's funny, all week we had a message around, let's just show him a nice straight line on the edges. So we spoke about getting high and keeping a straight line, not making his mind up for him. And when you're attacking that, it's really guesswork on your behalf. And it's frustrating, really frustrating. You're looking for defenses to give you cues, but if you don't give them to them, you've got to go find them, right? So the nights that we played and we did that, and you're never going to take someone like that completely out the game, but it's just minimising the impact they can have. So he's a class player. He's going to have moments this weekend. Yeah, that are going to be brilliant. It's okay. but how many of those are we prepared to live with? You know, and I think edges in particular, they've got a big job, staying connected, getting high and showing them a straight line this weekend.
Chance is back, fresh off the news, which is actually breaking as we record this, that he is re-signing. How big of an impact and a player and a leader in amongst the squad is Chance? How good is it to see him here for a couple more years as well?
Massive. The work he does behind or away from the 80 minutes that a lot of people see, that's essentially the value in Chance. Even as good as he is on the weekend, the amount of work he gets through, like the way he conducts himself, the way he prepares, recovers, approaches review, has honest conversations, gets around the boys. Like, he is your team guy. He's your team guy. So I'm just so stoked. I know family as well, so important to him. It's a big part why he came home in the first place. To see him be able to sort of establish himself back in, this market, connect with the fans. I know the fans love him. Little kids look up to him. We need people like that, bro. We need people like that in our organisation. We need people like that in rugby league in general in New Zealand. That someone can see and it's achievable for them to reach.
Yeah.
So I love it. A really good signing by the club, and stoked for Chance that he gets to stay put. He's got young family, so I know how much it'll mean to him to be able to represent the club for a couple more years.
Yeah, it's massive. I wanted to touch on, outside of the Warriors, a couple sevens that really stood out for me, and just your thoughts around their games on the weekend and their game in general. Isaiah Katoa, that kid is 21, so I say kid respectfully, but that is young.
Yep.
The way he can change the speed in which he ball plays, he starts slow, goes fast, changes tempos all the time, that is incredibly hard to teach, so he's got a natural gift there. But his ball-playing ability, his kicking game, he plays like a veteran, and he's still so young. That try he put on for Connolly Lemuelu was insane, regardless of whether you think the pass was forward or not. That's elite ball-playing. What do you like about Katoa, and what do you think his ceiling is, bro? Because he's starting to get some reps, and there's still room for improvement, but he's already pretty polished, man.
Yeah, he's definitely the pick of the bunch at that age. His ceiling that's unknown, but it could be anything, lad. It really could. You give him sort of 3, 4, 5 more years. What'd you say? He's 21.
Yeah.
Mid-20s. You think he sees the game a certain way right now. Yeah, you wait till he gets to sort of mid-20s. He'll start to really be like, okay, I see what everyone was talking about. So I like the things you've spoken about. The tempo is what sits defences, but it's his directness. It's his ability to get it inside shoulders and play up the field. His first movements are always square. He's always at the defence first. And what it does is it sits. It sits. So even if he's going to do a play where it gets him moving laterally, his first movement will always be up the field. And it's any young half out there, it's something that has to be a part of their game.
Yeah.
You call these plays where you get across the field, bring someone up, but you don't need to head sideways straight away. That's the misconception there. You can still get up the field. As soon as you feel someone coming straight at you, instantly you sit. You can't not.
Yeah.
You go, just for a second, and then
you
all
panic. You're like, what's next?
And then all of a sudden you're skipping out. So his ability just to play up the field, get it inside shoulders, and Sinky. He might be another one we can throw on the Sinky list.
There you
go. Because I see him look in to play out. It's all there, hip to hip. It's pretty cool to watch and pretty cool to see a young half doing it.
Yeah.
Because Adam Reynolds does it really well. He's one of the older halves that I look at, mate. He's
still got it.
Bro.
Yeah.
He's still got it. So, cool to see it. Yeah, young half coming through.
Mitch Moses. I've never seen that much of an impact in 80 minutes. Parramatta went from looking pretty bang average to looking like a really decent side. And it wasn't just the performance of Moses. It's the impact he has on his teammates. Can you touch a little on that, bro? And when your star player's back, all of a sudden everyone's on. Dylan Brown, over 200 running metres. Obviously, they work in a tandem, and that frees up Dill to run a little more.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, their forward pack is marching up the paddock. Addo Carr's scoring crazy tries in the corner. That's the testament of a good player, right? Is that as soon as he's on the team sheet, everyone's like, right, we're on this week.
Yeah, we are. And that's it. That is the mindset. You're like, okay, you got someone influential coming back into the side. But if you break it down, the run meters and all that, they spike when you've got more energy. right? And more energy comes from, like I touched on with the Warriors, you're not making the game harder than it has to be. So all of a sudden you're bringing in a piece of the puzzle with the best kicking game in the comp, best long, high kicking game in the comp. So, okay, we don't have a big set with the footy. We've got to kick the ball from inside our half. Previous weeks, that's going high and maybe landing on the 30, 25. You got Mitch Moses back all of a sudden. He's putting that ball inside the 10.
Yeah, completely different picture.
Completely different picture. So they give you energy those moments and zap energy from the opposition. You know, like, and that's all I saw. Like, I just saw a half that was just willing to put the ball high and long, win the field position battle, give his team more energy from doing so, and then you see the touches of class on the back of it. You know, like that's why the halves, that's why you wear 7. Whether you like it or not, you scrutinise more, you're in the limelight more because you are the guy to come up. You're the playmaker. Playmakers, they're the guys people look at. They're the ones that don't wait, they take. You know, like they're the guys that, will always be in the moment at the right time. And you saw that with Moses. Even, bro, that play, they make a break. What was it? They were up by 4.
Yeah.
Play 1 or 2. Ballsy kicks. Bro, that doesn't come off. What is the outcome? What is people saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But he wasn't thinking about outcomes. He's thinking, eyes up, this has to get through the line here. Executes.
Do you think enough teams do that? Like it's almost death by shape at times, right? Do you think enough? I guess it comes down to your 7s and playmakers feeling that comfortable, but is it almost coached out of people as well?
100%. Like a lot of the stuff these days, it's all about what I've just said. You know, like where we turn the ball over, not making it hard. Like
analytics, right?
It is, bro. It's death by 1,000 cuts. You know, let's not win it in the first. But when it's something so obvious like that, I hope the halves playing now will just take it. I remember we were playing against the Bulldogs a couple of years ago. ANZ and I kicked play 2 to Dell in the corner. Yeah, and I was like, me. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just going to go for it. It's on. Dell's one of the best in the air. Yeah. He scored. Boom, perfect.
You're feeling a way about it?
Feeling myself. Yeah. Second half, same sort of things. We make a breakdown. The thing, Dell's out there going, yep. And I'm looking at him going, probably shouldn't try this one, you know, like a different moment of the game. But, you know, I was like, you know what? Let's go.
First one.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Boom, I kick it, comes up short, they get the ball back. And I've just gone to run back to my, you know, and then I just get absolutely sprayed by the boys in the middle. What are you doing? You come and defend in the and I'm like, oh, you weren't complaining when I scored before.
When it led to 4 points.
Yeah.
100%.
Even my last game last year, bro, against Cronulla, I kicked on play 3 for Dell. I just rolled it through. I was like, you know, I don't care, lad. Last game, what are they going to say?
Yeah.
Boom, and we scored, right? We scored, but I'm like, that's what it's about. Like, eyes up footy should never be coached out of you. But halves have to understand it does come with consequences if it doesn't come off. Yeah. You know, that's the bit I always struggle. Oh, yeah, you weren't complaining when it's but no, like, understanding the situation and timing in the game. Now, look, if we're up 1 point with a minute to go, am I doing it? No. You know what I mean? It's got to be situational. You got to understand the context of the situation. So, like, but I just hope, eyes up footy never dies out because at the end of the day, people love it. That's what gets fans engaged. That's what gets people wanting to play. And it was a big part of my game anyway,
mate. Well, that's why people loved watching you play, right?
Yeah, I just played whatever I saw in front of me a lot of the time.
But expect the unexpected as well. It's the hardest thing to do. And most times it worked out for you. I'm sure you copped it when it didn't.
Oh, bro.
Hey,
far out.
That's all a part of it. I wanted to ask around some teams or players that have impressed you so far, or like teams or players you enjoy watching as a fan now and as someone who analyses the game.
Oh, bro. Like Melbourne are elite. Their spine is just, they're so good to watch. Yeah. And I generally don't know how you defend them. You know, like who's the indicator?
Well, that's like, their 2 losses have come when they've been missing Hughes and then they miss Grant. So your best chance is to just hope one of them's out.
Take them out early. Yeah. But like, no, like the Storm, like I just, they're so good to watch. Like as a fan, you just go far out. That's so good.
Yeah.
You know, like I really, like I appreciate the style that Canberra play with.
Yep.
I know what happened in Vegas. People were, underwhelming for the Warriors. But like Canberra created that.
And they're just a good side. Like I think there's enough evidence now that they're a good team.
They're a good team, right? And when they get their game on, they're hard to beat because they're so awkward to play. So awkward to play. So I just like watching them because they don't really have, it seems like at times they don't have a game plan. Seems like they're like, just make it messy, find offloads, just whatever, you know, like whatever goes.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to play. But Bro, like, I just think the comps in general's in a really good spot.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an open comp at the moment, man. Like, dude, like who are the out-and-out favourites?
Yeah.
Melbourne maybe are the only
Yeah,
ones you can
Melbourne,
really...
Dogs, just off the back of their work defensively.
You need to see Dogs play a Melbourne to
Yeah.
see where they're at.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like
think
even,
it's like round 25.
oh, is it? But even like Dogs say like someone that's just on that level, like to see exactly where even Dogs Warriors would be a great because that's honestly Serraldo and Webby come from the same system at Penrith. It's actually very similar styles.
Yeah.
You can tell the parts of the game that the Dogs are executing and valuing right now. It's that it is a lot to do with the effort areas, you know. So that would even be a really cool matchup. But
It would. Like our completion rate up against their D. That would be cool to see.
yeah, exactly right. Players, no, like if I'm being honest, like I just like watching out. Like
Watching
I love watching Wado sink people. Love watching Lukey Met like continuing to develop his game. Watch like Chanel, I feel like has been really good, man. Like I know Lukey Met's gonna always get because he's got the 7, and rightly so. Like he deserves to have the headlines, but like Chanel's leading hand in all this, defensively sound, real good kicking option on the left there. It just gives us really good balance. I feel like it's been really good to see him just like have that year off. Come back. Last year was a little bit slow for him, even just his body getting used to it all again.
I don't think people realise, right?
Yeah.
Like, you guys are getting battered week in and week out, but your body gets used to that.
Yeah.
If you go back to living a normal life, like, if you chucked a normal person
Lad, if
into
I went
your
to try and make
environment-
a comeback now,
Yeah.
I would be dog shit, bro. Like, honestly, I wouldn't know what hit me.
Taped up like Tohu, you
Oh,
reckon?
lad, like the
Just
double knee
mummy.
straps?
Yeah, the mummy.
Like, bro, it's like, it is. It's a real conditioned athlete, you know, in a real grueling sport. So, just to see, should he get those consistent reps? Bro, and also, like, I feel like Tane's really good to watch. Right? He's just, like, so light on his feet and strong, eh? So, there's always going to be players you like watching. But, yeah, for me, the boys on our side.
Were you jealous of the Dame Lillard share of Lukey Met? I know you guys have a bit of a running banter, bro, but having Dame Lillard share your Dame time Sally is kind of up there, bro, because you're an NBA fan as well.
Yeah, I'm an NBA fan, but, like, cut from different cloths, me and Lukey Met. I was never running around like that.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? I was more like, yeah, boys, like just to the team or like a little pump up to the fans. But yeah, I was a little bit too old for all that, like the cool celebrations and that. He's a big soccer fan too.
Yeah.
Lukey Met. So all of his like all these ones and that, like it's actually football driven.
Yeah.
So mate, hopefully we can see him doing more of them, because if he's doing more of them, it usually means something good's happening.
Yeah, means we're winning. Finally, bro, Touch Blacks this weekend up against Aussie Trans-Tas. I know it's another sport that's very close to your heart. You're down there in Christchurch.
Yep.
Would you possibly get to a game? And would you, I've been asked to ask you this by my rugby coach, who's the touchbacks coach.
Is he?
Yeah, would you like to lace up the boots one day and wear the black singlet in the touch?
Bro, I've always said, okay, that short answer, 100% yes. Like, bro, once I've had like this year of just like letting the body fully recover and doing bits and other pieces of training, stuff that I haven't done before, I'm keen to 100% play touch again. And I think they've got like 35s and...
Oh, you can't play 35s,
I'm not playing open men's, lad. No way. Like, what? I don't want... Some young fella will come in and be like, try toes me up. I'll be like, lad, I'm not...
E4 Jones on the 5.
I don't need any of this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm not here for this. I'm here...
straight Instagram highlight reels, eh?
Like, nah, I'm not going to give them the satisfaction. But no, short answer, 100%, I'm so keen to get back into it. And I would love to play, like, something I never got to do back in the day was play for NZ.
Yeah.
And does that make me a dual international?
100%, bro.
Let's be a dual international. I'll try, I get down there, Friday lunchtime. I've got a couple of hours before I've got to, head to the ground. But, yeah, I'd love to get to a game, hopefully. Hope they can, pick up a series win, bro.
Yeah.
Across either grade, like 3 grades. I just hope, we can just register something there. It's been tough times, eh?
Tough times,
bro.
Aussie class.
Yeah, Aussie are good. But, yeah, if you're down there and you listen to Surly Talk Sports, make sure you get out and, back the Touch Blacks.
100%. Well, I appreciate your time, bro. I know you're a busy lad. I think you got daddy duties now, which is probably the most important thing. But cheers for dropping by for a yarn, and maybe I'll sink a putt in a couple months' time and we can have another catch up.
Nah, all good, brother. All good.
So that's us, a slightly different pod this week. Just wanted to give that SJ interview its own place. Next week, we'll be back talking all things rugby league, Super Rugby, NBA finals, punting, Q&A, all that good stuff before jumping on a plane for Magic Round next Thursday. Arvo. As always, if you're having a flutter this weekend, please do so responsibly. Do so, though, through our mates at the TAB. Grateful for them getting around Surly Talk Sports. Have a good weekend. If you're playing grassroots sports, go well. We're taking on Massey this weekend on Saturday. So hopefully a dub for the Coders. We look to bounce back from one of the great bed shits last week against Takapuna. That one sucks. Still stings. But redemption hopefully this weekend to push that to the back of the memories. Enjoy your weekend of sport. There's plenty of it on. Catch you back here, same time, same place, next Thursday. Big Fizz.